Hello, welcome back to our CSCI 310 cybersecurity. Okay, just a slightly update because right now I have some internet outage because right now I'm using my hotspot to doing the Zoom. So in case you have some delay internet disconnected, okay, in case like this, please let me know and I try to reconnect again. Okay, just in case. Hopefully it will be fine. And next week will be the just like early notice. Let you know because we have the spring break coming next week, and then so I will prepare. This will be a short. I would call it a midterm, but not really. More like it's an online quiz. Okay, so it will cover from our week 1 to our week 8 will be like till this week. But any title but without the details. Okay, so you don't have to like worry too much about our week 8 lecture. Okay, so mainly the focus will be from week 1 to week 7 a little bit. Because when we move on to week 8, like it will be related to some malware, like introduce more some malware. Okay, and that's a way you can prepare. So you will have a week to complete it, and you can do it anytime. So you do have a time limit, okay, and you can only do it once, and that's it. So you can prepare and go through all the lecture, okay. That's what I mentioned before, and then let's move on to our today's lab because mainly we have some demonstration. So when we move on to the some malware or certain attack, maybe you will hear a lot. Maybe the first thing is about DOS. Okay. Sometimes is a DDoS is another one as a denial of a service. So what's doing? So it's like aim to make a service available to like intended users. So by the overwhelming is traffic. So you see mainly it's like the attack is like make the service available, like to make the because the traffic, okay. Or also they try to expose their like vulnerability towards the risk, okay. And right here is what I say DOS, or you hear more common is called a DDoS. So DDoS called a distributed denial of a service. They're mainly target on some like web server networks or certain applications. Okay, and how does it work? So if we try to doing the flooding, the target. Okay, so with some excessive request. So what's the request? So if you know, like start as a basic, okay. So let me open my terminal, and in case some student you're interested, maybe I also did show in other class. So if you want to use this one, if you're using Mac, then for Windows system you maybe not do not have really good terminal. So this one is correct, and also is available on Windows. But we released 2 days ago. So they have 2 or 3 days ago, like available on Windows platform. So if you want to have integrated with AI terminal, so you can download this one. Okay, and right now it's available on Windows system, so you can like download and use it, and pretty powerful and useful. So if to those students, if you're interested, want to use this one, you can download it. Okay, and I can post it in the communication. So if you want to in the chat, okay. So if you want to download this one, use it, then you're good. Okay. The idea is like how can we do a project? So let's say I've start with the basic. So we have the ping, right? Okay. So for the ping, let's say I want to ping Google. Okay. Okay, let me stop right here. So you see the package. Okay. So when I try to ping web server, okay, let's say I ping Google and then it will return a reply. Okay. So the idea is pretty simple. So imagine it. So if for the DOS, like I tried using one of my computers, so I can write a script, and then this script will keep like ping or sending a request, okay, to the web server, okay. When we try to say web server, because we need to, when you learn networking, so you know what's the three-way handshaking. So it's like, okay, I request to the our destination, so it will send reply as an acknowledgement, and then you will send another like reply acknowledgement back. So and then you will start your communication. So if in case like doing this, like just imagine it in a daily life, if you have to talk to somebody and then you say hello, and then in our communication method, it's like that person need to reply you back. Okay, so they will say hello, and they say hey, and you say, okay, I'm going to talk with you. Then you start your conversation. Okay, even though you're not really start to talk, if you have, let's say I keep doing this, like I say hi, hey, hey. If you keep on like doing this communication, then that person will kind of like busy to reply to you. So this is how the mechanism, how it works. Okay. In the network layer, so maybe they have a synchronous flow or the SYN, or like the application layer, okay, will be the HTTP. Okay, so if you know, the HTTP will be the domain, the hypertext wire transfer protocol. So all this will be the possible way to doing something like keep sending the package out. Okay, that's why we say the DOS. So we only from the one source targeting a service. But the one it happened in reality nowadays, we always say DDoS. Okay, it's called a multiple source. So we will try to use like multiple compromised devices. Okay, we use the botnet. Okay, to amplify the attack. Okay, so if you're the one listening and then you have to reply, and imagine if you have maybe you will still have a really powerful processing power, and then you have a really enough bandwidth, let's say like this, and you are able to reply my request. Okay, if I only like one-to-one, then when I say hi, and then you reply hey like this, then we will keep doing this. Maybe you're okay, so you are not like really overwhelming. Okay, but if I have like hundred of people like keep doing this to you, but you like, because in this mechanism, okay, in the maybe TCP and in this like protocol, you have to reply to everyone. That means that if I have hundred of people like try to say hello to you, you have to reply to 100 people. So you will use all your resources, like your processing power, all your time to doing reply. But in case I'm a real person, have to talk to you, then you cannot serve me. So here's the target of the like doing that DDoS attack. So it try to consume all your surface resources, such as your like CPU, memories, or the bandwidth. So it makes your all your resource exhaustion. Okay, that means you don't have processing power to handle for the regular request or normal request. So here's the target when we're doing the DDoS attack. For this, like always, you will see start with the service outage. Okay, so it will interrupt the service, and then if you are doing the some online online shop, right, or like e-commerce. Okay, so if there are some middleman or attacker try to do the DOS and then cause your service outage, that means that no customer, no guest like visit your website. Okay, so they cannot reach to your website. That means like no people going to make the order, lost revenue. Of course, if your website cannot serve, people start to like lost their trust. Okay, they think okay, this website is not working at all. They're not going back. Okay, and also for the reputation of for long term. So like thinking the brand reputation. So one of the and then next, as what we say in the risk management, we talk about recovery. So for the plan, so once you have this type of a DDoS attack, then you need to spend some money for mitigation, and then prepare for the recovery, and then if there's certain service you need to maintain like always available, but this time you fail, then maybe there's some like potential legal fee you have to pay. Okay, so you have some penalties, all this. So this but like right now it happens always now that if you know using GitHub in 2018, so it's one of the example. So because it was experienced a massive DDoS attack. So at the peak is a 1.3 terabyte bit per second. Okay, so 1.3 T. Okay, so within 1 second, just like if you look at your hard drive size, right? Okay, so if you're like 1 terabyte, right? So this really make your server like temporarily disrupt. Okay, so it may be highlighting some vulnerability, even some major platform. Okay, so always like think about how can you think about like scaling. Okay, in case there's something being attacked, how can you take certain version, and then how can you like handle this by doing protection from the DDoS. And for different website, there are different way to prevent the DDoS. Also like that. So it's another one. So it's the attacking the DNS. So this one will affect like the website, let's say Twitter, Netflix. So it's attacking the DNS server. Okay. So here comes out another one in network. So if you have no idea what the DNS server is a domain name server. Okay, services. So that means when you translate, let's say if you type the called the release campus domain or its ANM, so it will saving okay from the domain name convert to the IP look really like actual IP address. Okay. If you cannot resolve it, then you cannot convert. Okay, then you cannot access to those server. Okay, so that's like it cause medium user like being affected and then some critical role. So okay, as a middleman. So maybe how can we to avoid certain like redundancy or like try to increase the securities right here. So actually it really happened when it's like too long time ago, then maybe not talk about that. So you see a lot things like it happened and um it works on the real world, like even nowadays, even maybe nobody saying for the attacker um they will hacker they try to doing the DDoS. If you did have experience like hosting maybe using like EC2 instance or like using other like digital ocean or like others, okay, you will see the attacker they will especially they use those image and your instance like they will try to create it as a maybe they will inject certain files and then just turn your computer to a zombie computer and they keep sending the DDoS to attack certain server. Okay, so sometimes you have no idea, but one good way that you need to observe is your bandwidth, network traffic, all these things. It's a common topic like national cybersecurity strategy, so we need to be careful. Always, if you want to prevent all these like DOS like attack, or we say the DDoS attack, always I look at some like assessments. Okay, checking what's the risk, the real probabilities, also the penetration testing, and then also try to implement the redundancy. Okay. You see one is called a load balancer. Okay, some like failover strategy. Okay. Load balancer is one of the we call the I can introduce one is called nowadays you if you try to reach out to the server side, sometimes you see they're called Nginx. So Nginx is helping you to handle some requests, okay, to routing. So it can working as a load balancer. Let's say you have multiple server, okay. So maybe some in the state, you maybe have one server in California, maybe one in Dallas, like Texas, and one in maybe in Boston, let's say like this, or one in Miami, like this, okay. So in case one of the server is down or out of service, okay, then maybe you can use this load balancer to redirect, or sometimes if you want to make the um to let the user like redirect them to other location to reduce the workload, and also it's possible. So we can use the called the load balancer and failover strategy. Okay, let's say if I cannot reach it, and then what I'm going to do. So maybe you can connect back later, or if like for Windows, we try to install a fail to ban if you try to access like one time, and then we have a mechanism by how many seconds we'll pick a random number and wait for how many seconds, and then they can try to like reconnect back. Okay, so we can like fail certain IP address. So all this they will possible to prevent it. Okay, and also importance to educate. Education is important because the awareness, like training on the cyber security affairs or response. So here's a possible way we can do. And because we're going to test is using a waiting. Because I know some of you have no idea, and not maybe not using the Node.js. So I just let you show you later. So actually it's the same kind of pretty similar. So for simulating the DOS attack, I will just running the local server like running like this, and then I will try to keep sending the ping. Okay, so make it that responsive CSCI to slow down when under the load. Okay. Before testing, because right now I have really poor network, so I don't want to like mess up. So I just let you know how it works. So I will use later in the demonstration. Sometimes when I showing the cross-site attack exercises, like to simulate or like plain text if you remember like all this. So I will hosting the server, okay, and then I will just use my terminal to keep on like sending a request. But this time I already set the limitation, okay. So when I keep pinging it, AB is like called the Apache benchmark tool. So it can like help us to check the benchmark, okay, performance of the HTTP server. And then the request like for really attack for the DOS or DNOS, we never to specific the number of requests like perform. This one just simulation like for testing. Then of course like similar to the ping, and we're just sending 1,000 requests. Okay, but for reality, actually they're non-stop. Okay, keep sending all the requests to the server, and then also the concurrency level. So it's like they will try to send 100 requests, do it within the same time. Okay, so it can simulate multiple user to access, but 100 maybe is a small number. We can make it to 1,000 or like this. And then for the target URL, so this one I'm testing on a local host. But why not my network pretty not quite stable, so I'm trying not running it for this one. So you would like to test, okay? And go. In the last week, I say I can use this one to host it. Okay, at least I want to show you let you see. Me change my directory. Okay. So try to create a new that we 8 left. Okay, let me go host the server. Let me copy the source code. Show you this one. Okay, so right here, if you have no idea what I'm doing, it's fine because like in cybersecurity, I'm not really asking you to learn a new language, but for the later I want to like to testing, so I will recommend you if you at least you can install the Node.js, and then you can learn something like this is not really complicated, but you can set up the environment. So how can we initialize the Nginx and then try to execute like the sample code. So more important, so you need to observe, like maybe you have no idea, then at least you can try to. So I'll try to install. Okay, so right here will be after I have some shader files, then I need to install all the required node package. So I'm going to use, so maybe I'm using the HTTP, and then I'm going to use the Express, like to holding the API server, and then I can use the for the Express weight limit. Okay, so I have certain, and then no DOS. Okay, so right now the server is executing, and then let me try to execute. And you see, right now running on the localhost 3000. So let me test with it. Okay, create a new terminal, and then I was sending it. Okay, so once I send it, so you see the request every time I will send 100 requests, and because I total just 1,000, so you see I only like send 10 times, okay, every time, and you will see all those like performance, how many bits, how much time. But so far, because I test it in localhost, okay, so you will see so far it's fine. But if we like keep on pinging like and without limited time, then your server will crash down. We are trying not to do that because if I crash my system, then pretty sure like I cannot do any sharing, and then I'm showing demonstration. And most important right here, I try to give you the example. It's like the solution we're going to use is to doing the prevention. Okay, so I change it to DOS and replace it. And right here, first, like we can do the rate limitation. Okay, we can limit. Okay, what's the maximum for access, and then sometimes we try to handle maximum connection. Okay, so let me execute one more time, and then let me ping one more time. Okay, so right here, and then I will change the number. Let's say if I change the maximum connection to 10. And then let me pay one more time. And then you see like something change. And just like one thing is like here we be try to address like the keyword that we always try to set in the rate limit. Okay, we can make it like less. Okay, we can limit HIP to send a request. So why not? Because we try to match it with the 100, but you can let's say lower, then you will see the difference. And then we try to use maybe the one called the max connection. So this is how the our called the sometimes the local NGX can handle. Okay, your API server can setting a limit. Okay, for access. Then you can reduce the workload. Okay, or prevent the to avoid like overwhelming on your workload of your server. Okay, and here's one of the example. So doing let me stop the local host. So all this like for the our DOS, like this one is like from one source, so I call it a DOS. But if we have like multiple computer like keep sending this, then you see. So right here, if the server is not designed for handling the load, maybe it struggle to the process of them, And also it will takes all your like CPU resources, like server resources in your CPU, memory, bandwidth. Okay, so it make your server is unresponsive. Okay, so maybe it takes time if you want to access it again, like really long time wait or like cause a timeout. So if you the experience maybe possible is like this. And also sometimes the latency. Okay, so if you send a request, but it takes longer time, significantly like due to high volume of concurrent connection, then it will like really slow down. Okay, you cannot like access your content as usual. And then also have, you maybe have a crash, right? So if you have a poorly configured in your server and then with lack of the resources, okay, so it may cause, okay, let's say if you have your RAM is not enough, and then when you need to handle all this connection, then also it cause crash too. So here's the problem. Um, Based on all this like potential issue, then they say, okay, let's say for latency, okay, we say really long, maybe we can increase the latency so it can make your server like even slow down, then it can be okay. So due to the high volume concurrent connection, and then if for the potential crash, if like fully configured, then maybe we can think about maybe increase the file maybe the size or bandwidth is possible. But you know for hardware, because the bandwidth will be limited. Okay, so if physically somehow we cannot increase it that much. Okay. That's what we say. One part is called the rate limiting. So in the example right here in our DOS example right here, so we try to implement a code rate limiting, so we can restrict the number of requests from a client. Okay, so in a certain time frame. So if you have a limitation, and they say, okay, within certain time they cannot keep on replying, or in reality, like actually it's really hard. Or it really not request like within 1 millisecond you're sending like 100,000 requests, right? So it doesn't make sense. So that's why. And also we can use some called a reverse proxy server, as I maybe Nginx. One of the service called a Cloudflare. Okay, Cloudflare, so we can use like to handle the traffic. So if you're interested for web programming in related, then you maybe know. So after you use their service, and then they can help you. So they have a free solution. Okay, have limited, and then once you are done, they have to do caching and handle the request. So it's a service provider you can use. Even there's some company they were using the Cloudflare as a redirection. Sometimes if you couldn't access it, you see Cloudflare is hosting it. Okay, so maybe not all of you like have experience to use it, but have an idea would be good enough. So this one would be some like security features that provide to you, and then they can do like filtering, load balancing. So it's pretty good. And then the weight limit, so you can set the limit from single IP. Then you can like set the limit how many requests they can send, and then also from the application level firewall, okay, WAF. So we can deploy those the WAF to our to filter some malicious traffic, and also a CDN, content delivery network. So it can absorb the traffic spike. Okay, so maybe you hear this term CDN. So it's a similar idea. So you try to let your content being distributed, so you can able to access like if one is not about able to connect. Okay. And also we have some like connection limitation. So we can set the limitation of concurrent connection. And right here in the example, we try to use the called a max connection right here. Okay, so we say we don't have a standard numbers. Like, okay, only 10, 100,000. It really depends on your website service. Okay, so if you, let's say if your service has Amazon, okay, can you setting the connection limit to 100? No, it will affect your service, right? So you need to know your base of your customer number, and also maybe when you do the load balancing, maybe you have different data center, okay, server hosting in different location. then you're thinking, okay, maybe in every state, so they have their own Amazon data center, let's say, assuming in this way, then you need to think about like in meanwhile, how many connection will connect to your server. Then you need to put the appropriate number, okay? And also we can do the IP like blacklisting, whitelisting. So we will able to like block those malicious IP. Okay, if you know like there exists certain threshold, and also setting the timeout. So if for certain connection, so we can free up the resources. Okay, if it takes too long, then we can prevent some like hanging connection. So it's one of a possible way to like kick them out or let them to connect if they need to access the resources, and always try to use some monitoring and alert system. So maybe we can use it to detect some unusual spike, or one is PM2 is one we're using for the Node.js, like to running surface and doing logging library. So we know, okay, maybe we'll know the request pattern or some set the alert. Okay. And we will say one is we're using the web application firewall, so we can monitor the HTTP request, and then we can provide some additional layer of the protection, so we can help us to prevent the DOS attack. And also there's something slightly more, including the network security measures, and then we can implement the intrusion detection or prevention system, IDPS. So just like coming together as a, or we try to create some redundant system. Okay, so this one can help us to, if there's some like critical system, can help for the handle some failover mechanism. So in case it's already failed, then can we redirect to another one as a backup server and handle the request? And also one more thing, like when we're doing the in the previous lecture, we did the risk management. We say, okay, so we always should have a plan to in place of how can we like respond to the DOS incidents. So far we'll be quickly we went through one of the attack and pretty common attack. Okay, and then I would like to show you one more in our malware analysis, like in malware. Okay, so I would like to show you one in, if you're taking the malware analysis in later, so you will have a chance like to work and really like practical look at those like malware doing and inject your system. Right now you don't have to do it, just like I would like to let you have an idea, have some picture like what you're going to do. So Bill we're doing for testing, and you'll see some for some malware files, and then it will some of it will like, let's say on your Windows system, and then you execute a file, it will try to send in a request like to their server, and they will try to download certain files, and they will turn in your server. They will keep executing, so in the background. Okay, and if as a ping, okay, so if they want to turn your computer to a zombie computer and then like to perform the DDoS, so sometimes you have no idea. But if you experience like your computer getting like slow, or like when you access to certain service, maybe you are the victim, or you are the one of the like the computer like sending the DDoS. So it may be possible. So you need to check. Sometimes I will go to your task manager, and then we try to inspect. Okay, inspect. Okay, is any like malicious applications executing, and also maybe you can like check your network connection. So always it will occupy a lot. Okay. So it will like always maybe almost 100%. Okay, because for the attacker, they don't really care about your system performance. So they just like keep pinging other servers. Okay, the API server. Okay, so that's like how it works. Of course, like in this stage, you don't have to really say really looking for the malware, but you will know that's how it works. And I would like I show you the example like this. Okay, but for later, if you're taking the malware analysis, then you can do something more practical. Okay, after we talk about the DOS, I would like to let you show you one thing in the later in the lecture. Probably I will start the introduction part, and then after the spring break, and then after we finish the course, then we will start our like move on. So introduce different type of the um malware. Okay, and I would like to simulate. Okay, and tell you. Okay, one is the Python. Maybe you already heard about like Trojan, right? Okay, the Trojan, and then maybe the idea in the lecture I will tell you, but I would like to show you one thing is like if I need to do something like even in from my VM, I try to show you there's a malware. So here's the idea. They have an application, somebody injected or they are the binary file. But for cybersecurity, just like demonstration is simulating how it works. So I have a Python files, okay. And what I'm going to do is I want to create a file. Okay, so this one we read your file and then try to create a file. So it's kind of like similar. And I would like to show you right here. And you can find all this code right from the V8 code. So if you are interested, and there I know some students they really frustrated. Say, oh, I have no idea about like any programming language, or some of you are like pretty good. Like I already know all this. I know, but at least one thing is that you should know how to execute and set up the environment. Maybe in the course I'm not really teaching, okay, for this language what we're going to do, like really implement something. But hopefully one thing is like if I give you some source code, okay, let's say I give you some Python source code for demonstration or like for simulation, okay. And even in the final there's a you have a final, I call it a final project, or like you have a report. So I want you to like pick for extension like to inspect all this and then have some study. Okay, so what's the vulnerability? So what's the risk, and then how can we do the protection? And then what kind of like you can propose certain possible way to prevent all this. Okay, so it's a more likely a study. And like to show you one thing, the Python, okay, Python script, and then Trojan. Okay, okay, let's say I have a Trojan file like this. Okay. I already have a text file already right here. So in this folder, okay, under this folder, it doesn't exist anything, and then we will try to execute. And right now you see Trojan file created. Okay, I have a call output, and it returns a text message right here. Of course, this one is just a simulation. If I want to make it more serious, of course, I can change it to some like command file to access to some um, virus website, and I can download certain application and then hack in the system or create certain port, and then to accept certain command, and then change your virtual file. So lots of things we can perform. Okay, but pretty sure one thing. Okay, so when you build in the mail analyzer we were looking for. So you will see some function is called the write file, create file. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, so for the those malware, they will always search it, and then first thing is they try to doing the detection. So one of the detection is okay. Start with the beginning. If I want to inject certain content, maybe I will check what is our current platform. Okay, so maybe because because for Windows and maybe Ubuntu is a Linux. or Debian if they belong to Linux, or for the Mac OS. Okay, because for different Windows system or like Mac systems, we have different command line. Okay, so sometimes we need to detect. Okay, so after we detect, then we can create a file. Okay, so let me change the directory to here. Let me create this one. Well, I don't want this. Okay, let me change it to TMP. Okay. Okay, so what is doing, so the first part, I need to change the directory. Okay, part right here, so I will looking for the location and then see, okay, if there's a directory say it doesn't exist. Okay, for detection, sometimes for the background, and then for this one, if I able to check, okay, it's maybe under Mac system. Okay, so then I can do it. And if there's something unsupported system, then I cannot injection and things. If I able to do that, then I can create a file. Okay, so I will check if it exists, and then if not exists, then I try to create some files and then put it into that directory. Let's say like this, and let's see. Do more checking one more time. Okay. Maybe I will put it under. Maybe I'll try to put it under user. Okay. Maybe I will put it under the same location. Copy the file directory right here. So this time I try to like put it in the location, like same folder, and of course you can define your own. Sometimes for the malware, they always in the Windows system. Like put the command like in Windows system, they like to put it under the like system 32, so they can execute, or sometimes they put it under the app data. Okay, app data, so you are not like able to find it easily, and they will like execute it in the background. And well, similarly, right here, I just like try to writing an image. So it's like called a 3D Trojan image, and then you see it comes out, it exists. Okay, it's a small pixel, and then writing the content. It'll be pretty fun. So if you can like try to create something, it's a pretty similar action. What you see, I will just create a image, and also you can like detect the location. Of course, like you can make it more like powerful if you are say, let's say if you're good at Python, I would recommend you like you can take this source code and then to detect your environment and then try to create a file. Okay. Compare with like more advanced like mail analysis, you are really tackle with real some malware, okay, really affect you or like something like want to quite more serious. Okay, it will encrypt your storage. But for this one, like for learning or like as a beginning, so I would like you to like try to execute this file if you are able to do that. Usually I'm switching from Node.js or Python. So if you have difficulties, I have really no idea how can I install Python, then you may try to we can set up the time so I can help you, or I can spend the lab. So tell you how can you install this background. But like after you watch this video or like at 10 right now, and I will recommend you that you can try to set up the environment and execute all this file and then change the parameter. Like I would say at least like we asking you if you are able to like look at the source code, understand like at least I know like you can guess what it's doing, and if you feeling okay, you able to handle more, then you can modify certain content. Okay, from maybe right here I change the location. Okay, because I can like put it to somewhere like hidden, but I just put more obvious location under like for teaching purpose, I just make it more obvious. Okay, obviously you can able to see it. Okay, but in like actual malware, they will try to hide to somewhere like for maybe app data, something under the like user file, like somewhere hidden. Okay, or like put it into con job. Okay, so this is how it looks like, and then one more. So another part right here would be like I will try to walk through all the systems and then checking all the location and save all the file path. So here's another one, another example. So here all the sometimes they for some malware, okay, or some application they want to steal your personal information. They want to detect them. I will all like first step I will detect what's your like first part. I will try to detect which system are you like using. Okay, so is it Windows or Linux or Mac OS? Okay, so you will see the path. How can we define it? Will be different. Okay, and then after I know which system, then I can like choose. Okay, maybe I want to search like for this you say os.walk is it try to like go through all the directory files. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm like try to search and I save all the directory. And for the next step, after I able to get all your file lists or directory lists, that I can save any files or create anything. Okay, I can go to certain sensitive directory. Let's say if I go to documents, maybe some users they love to put their some personal information like under documents folder, or sometimes they love to put them under desktop downloads away. So after I detect all this path, and then I can search like what kind of files under this directory. Okay, so maybe I will specifically looking for certain files, or actually if I don't care, I just like copy all the files. So okay, so once I able to get it, then I can running the connect to the FTP server, and then I can copy all your files like under maybe under document to my server. So after I copy all your files, then I can read it later. Okay, so maybe I can find maybe if you take a screenshot of your credit card, of you, maybe you have your bank statement or some other information, including your bank login password like these files, then I can do this. Okay. Of course, like for prevention, naming all this content, you need to be careful. And so far we will quickly go through two part or like showing you the idea. First is the attack is called the DOS and DDoS, and then next will be the like some how the system it works like and for the malware or some like if you want to doing the injection of files, then we always like detect the platform and then scan your file list, and then later we will have some operation including create file, read file, and then write a file. Okay, so that's how it works. The rest of time I will let you to I'm not sure how many will want to stay, and if you will stay, if you want to try to execute all this file, like I already uploaded to the TUL under the week 8. Okay, so you can download and execute it and try. Okay, if you don't have a Node.js, or if you suppose you should have a Python, but if you don't have it, you can install it and then try to execute and modify certain parameters. Okay, so I can help you, and I can spend the rest of time to help you. And if you have no other question, then you feel free to leave, and then I will keep on checking the numbers of students like online. So if you're like quitting, then I will end the sharing. Okay, and that is so far for the lab, and demonstration will be ended by here. And I would like to do you have any question? If no question, I think still are leaving. So I will, there's one student right here. Okay. And I will mute and wait for a few more minutes. If there are no more questions, then I will end the this sharing this lab. And as usual, I will record the lecture part and then the share, so you don't have to attend the Thursday one. Okay, so I will pre-record it and then make it available. Okay, so you can watch it later. Okay, since I don't have a feedback, so I assume there's no question. Okay, I will end the sharing. Thank you.